Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you work with students, you already know the drill, right? It's a daily roller coaster of extreme highs and heavy lows. Today, we're going to completely unpack the complexities of trauma-informed classrooms, and more importantly, we're going to transform those overwhelming expectations into practical, empowering tools that you can actually use. Let's get right into it.
Teachers today face just a staggering multitasking ordeal. From pivoting to new curricula practically overnight to managing the pandemic's lingering aftermath, it's a lot. And in the midst of all that, educator Rita Pearson's profound words really hit the nail on the head. She said that every child deserves a champion. Being that champion? Well, that means engaging in self-care and problem-solving to rise to these exact challenges.
Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll be hitting 4 main stops. 1. The champion educator. 2. Defining trauma-informed approaches. 3. Approach versus specific services. And 4. 5 foundational classroom practices.
Let's start with Section 1, the champion educator, navigating the modern classroom. Let's take a really close look at the incredibly complex environment you're asked to navigate every single day.
You are constantly kept on your toes. You're expected to support a wildly diverse student body, which means navigating totally different family systems, identities, and socio-emotional needs, all while juggling high-stakes testing and constantly shifting instructional formats. It is a wonderfully complex but undeniably heavy lift for sure. To put that into perspective, consider this 2022 data from Schaefer. A full third of high school students face mental, emotional, or behavioral health challenges at some point in their school career. Literally 1 in 3. So if you're wondering why your role in student wellness is so critical, well, there it is. The need is absolutely undeniable.
And here's the absolute most crucial takeaway, backed by some incredibly comprehensive research. Outside of the family, the quality of a student's teacher is the single most important external catalyst for their success. You are the primary difference maker. You are the #1 factor. Pretty amazing, right?
Moving right along to Section 2, defining trauma-informed approaches beyond the buzzword. Let's clear up some confusion and look beyond the jargon to define what trauma actually means in this context.
First off, trauma isn't just a bad day. It's an event or a set of circumstances that completely overwhelms a person's ability to cope, leaving lasting adverse effects. And because most teachers aren't trained in trauma recovery, there's a totally valid, completely understandable fear out there about accidentally re-traumatizing students in the classroom.
Naturally, this lack of formal training leads to a lot of common confusion. A major misconception we see is the idea that you need to act like a therapist. But here is the protective truth. Simply applying sound, preventative classroom management actually is trauma-informed. It actively builds student resiliency without you having to be a mental health expert.
The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, or SAMHSA, provides a really great holistic mindset for this. A trauma-informed approach is an integrated system. It means your classroom realizes the impact, recognizes the signs, responds effectively, and actively resists re-traumatization. It's a whole environment approach.
To achieve that mindset, SAMHSA outlines 6 key principles. We're talking about prioritizing physical and psychological safety, building peer support, respecting cultural backgrounds, and genuinely giving students a voice and a choice. Together, these principles provide a rock-solid, research-validated foundation for creating a truly supportive climate.
Now for Section 3, approach versus specific services. Clarifying the educator's role. This brings us to a vital distinction that, honestly, should significantly relieve the pressure you might be feeling. Okay, there is a massive difference between a general approach and a specific service. As a teacher, your job is the strengths-based approach. That means providing a supportive, safe environment for the whole class. You are absolutely not expected to provide trauma-specific services. Those are unique clinical treatments reserved exclusively for the portion of students who require specialized recovery.
Breaking it down by goals, consumers, and providers makes this boundary crystal clear. Your role is to be a community leader, building a culture of prevention for all students. You are not a mental health clinician treating root causes for specific students. Understanding this boundary, it's incredibly freeing, and it lets you focus on what you actually do best.
Let's transition to Section 4, 5 foundational classroom practices. Everyday actions for champion educators. Let's see how this mindset translates into micro-level, everyday actions that you can take right now.
Before we look at the specific steps, we need a guiding philosophy, which is actively avoiding institutional processes that might trigger a student's past trauma. That means shifting away from harsh, punitive discipline, which can feel incredibly threatening, and instead leaning heavily on positive behavior support and social-emotional learning, or SELs.
Think of these 5 practices as your classroom blueprint. First, you establish positive expectations together. Second, actively build rapport. Really stay close to your students. Third, catch them doing right with high-frequency positive reinforcement. Fourth, keep them authentically engaged with plenty of opportunities to respond. And finally, when undesired behavior inevitably happens, you redirect it gently and instructively. The absolute biggest takeaway here, these aren't just extra tasks piled onto your plate. They are literally the bedrock of exceptional teaching. When you intuitively implement these proactive approaches, you aren't just managing a room, you are acting as a true champion educator, building an equitable, safe haven for every single student.
Remember, your structured, compassionate presence is the single most powerful tool for a student's achievement. So, as you step back into the chaos and the beauty of teaching, I want to leave you to reflect on this one crucial thought. How will you use these principles to be a champion of connection in your classroom today?